James Madison Jr., the father of the Constitution, was born on March 16, 1751. He hailed from Port Conway, Virginia, a colony steeped in the traditions of English liberty and self-government.
My father, James Madison Sr., was a prominent planter and landowner. My mother, Eleanor Rose Conway Madison, instilled in me a love of learning.
Madison's privileged upbringing provided him with access to a classical education, where he excelled in his studies. He attended the College of New Jersey, now Princeton University.
My time at Princeton proved formative. I immersed myself in history, philosophy, and political theory, developing a deep understanding of Republican ideals.
He graduated in 1771 and returned to Montpelier, his family's plantation.
The American colonies were on the brink of revolution. As a young man, I found myself drawn into the political ferment of the time.
As tensions with Great Britain escalated, James Madison embraced the cause of American independence.
I served in the Virginia Convention and helped draft the Virginia Declaration of Rights. This document proclaimed the inherent rights of all people and influenced the Declaration of Independence.
Madison served in the Continental Congress during the Revolutionary War, witnessing firsthand the challenges of governing a new nation. The Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1777, proved inadequate.
Recognizing the need for a stronger national government, I became a leading advocate for constitutional reform. I played a pivotal role in the convening of the Constitutional Convention of 1787.
This meeting, held in Philadelphia, brought together the nation's most brilliant minds to address the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation.
Though only 36 years old, I arrived at the convention with a clear vision. I proposed a system of checks and balances and championed the principle of separation of powers.
The Constitutional Convention of 1787 was a crucible of debate and compromise. James Madison, often called the father of the Constitution, played a central role in shaping the course of the proceedings.
I argued passionately for a strong national government and insisted on protections for individual liberties.
Madison's meticulous notes provide an invaluable record of the debates and decisions that shaped the Constitution.
I advocated for a bicameral legislature to ensure representation for both large and small states.
The issue of slavery cast a long shadow over the convention.
After months of intense deliberations, the delegates reached a compromise. The Constitution was signed on September 17, 1787.
Madison, exhausted but exhilarated, had played a pivotal role in its creation. Following the ratification of the Constitution, James Madison served as a leader in the newly formed House of Representatives. He played a crucial role in the drafting and passage of the Bill of Rights.
My political views evolved over time. I initially aligned myself with the Federalist Party, led by Alexander Hamilton, supporting a strong national government.
However, he grew increasingly wary of the Federalists' emphasis on centralized power.
By the late 1790s, I had become a leading figure in the Democratic-Republican Party. This party, formed in opposition to the Federalists, championed states' rights and a strict interpretation of the Constitution.
The Democratic Republicans drew their support from farmers, planters, and small businessmen.
In 1808, after serving 2 terms as Thomas Jefferson's Secretary of State, I was elected as the 4th President of the United States.
He inherited a nation deeply divided along partisan lines. James Madison's presidency was dominated by escalating tensions with Great Britain. The British government, engaged in a struggle with Napoleon's France, adopted aggressive measures to restrict American trade.
The British Navy routinely intercepted American ships suspected of trading with France. They impressed American sailors into service, claiming they were British deserters.
These practices, known as impressment, outraged Americans and fueled calls for war. Madison, a man of peace, sought to avoid armed conflict.
The British government, convinced that the United States was siding with France, refused to back down.
Domestically, Madison faced growing pressure from war hawks who demanded a more assertive foreign policy.
The situation reached a boiling point in June 1812, when I asked Congress for a declaration of war against Great Britain.
The vote was close. The nation was divided. The United States, ill-prepared for a major conflict, was about to embark on a war that would test its resolve.
The early years of the war were marked by a series of American defeats and setbacks. British forces invaded and burned Washington, D.C. in August 1814. The War of 1812 proved to be a costly and divisive conflict for the young United States. The nation was ill-prepared for a major war.
General Andrew Jackson's stunning victory over the British at the Battle of New Orleans made him a national hero. However, the tide of the war began to turn in 1814. American forces achieved a series of victories.
The War of 1812, despite its hardships, had a profound impact on the United States. It demonstrated the nation's resilience. It forged a stronger sense of national identity. The war also marked the end of any lingering British ambitions to reassert control over its former colonies. As the War of 1812 dragged on, both the United States and Great Britain realized that a negotiated settlement was in their best interests.
Peace negotiations began in Ghent, Belgium, in August 1814. The American delegation included John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and Albert Gallatin.
The Treaty of Ghent, signed on December 24, 1814, essentially restored the status quo ante bellum. It addressed none of the grievances that had led to the war. However, the treaty marked the beginning of a new era of peaceful relations between the United States and Great Britain. News of the treaty reached the United States in February 1815, to the relief of a war-weary nation.
I was re-elected to a second term in 1812 and successfully guided the nation through a perilous period.
Madison left office in 1817 with the nation at peace, its independence secure. After completing his second term as president, James Madison retired to Montpelier, his plantation in Virginia.
I, like many of my contemporaries, was a man of contradictions, revered as the father of the Constitution, yet I was a slaveholder throughout my life.
In his later years, James became increasingly troubled by the growing sectionalism over slavery. He feared that the issue would tear the nation apart.
Madison died at Montpelier on June 28, 1836, at the age of 85. He left behind a legacy of extraordinary achievement. He is remembered as one of the most important figures in American history. His contributions to the founding and development of the United States are immeasurable. James Madison's legacy is both complex and enduring. He is revered as the father of the Constitution, a document that has stood the test of time.
My contributions to American political thought are profound. My ideas continue to shape debates about the nature of government and the rights of citizens.
Madison's presidency, though often overshadowed by the War of 1812, was a time of significant accomplishment. He preserved the Union and laid the groundwork for a period of westward expansion and economic growth.
However, my legacy is also intertwined with the institution of slavery. While I expressed moral qualms about slavery, I never fully embraced abolition. This contradiction continues to spark debate and controversy.
James Madison, a man of modest demeanor and towering intellect, left an indelible mark on the course of American history.
As the primary author of the Constitution and a leading advocate for its ratification, I played a pivotal role in shaping the framework of American government. My vision of a balanced republic, with power shared between the federal government and the states, continues to shape the nation's political landscape.
Madison's legacy is not without its complexities. His personal involvement in slavery stands in stark contrast to the principles of liberty and equality enshrined in the Constitution.
In the annals of history, I stand as a testament to the enduring power of ideas. My contributions to American political thought continue to inspire and challenge us today.
As we grapple with the complexities of our own time, we would do well to remember the wisdom and foresight of the father of the Constitution. His legacy endures, shaping the nation he helped to create.